Ladies, welcome back to another episode on the Weight Loss Women 40 Plus podcast. Now, today we're talking about energy, how to get more of it, how to overcome low energy if you're feeling tired, feeling sluggish, or even feeling lethargic. So, there's three main ways to get your energy back. But before we dive into that, the reason why energy is so important is, as you probably know, if you feel tired, what does your motivation look like? I know if I'm fucking feeling tired, my motivation to exercise, to walk, to do a lot of things in life is nearly non-existent. So energy is going to play a massive role in the fat loss process, because if you're not feeling motivated, now you've got to really push through the grind. Now, obviously, that's going to be a big part of this goal. You can't just bitch it all the time like, oh, I've got no energy, I'm not going to fucking train. Yeah, you're going to get nowhere. What will take you normally 6 months is now going to take 18 months because you do good for a couple of days, you feel tired, and then you stop doing it. But I'm here today to put a couple of things together so that you can have more success, more energy, and more fucking motivation. Because you get those things working together, we've got a deadly combo. So, number one, I always start not with how you're currently feeling, but what you were doing the previous day. So normally what happens the previous day, the previous night is going to affect how you feel today. So for example, if I have low energy this morning, it's going to stem from something yesterday. It's not going to be what I've done necessarily right now. So the first thing is a regular bedtime. It sounds too fucking simple. It's like, yes. Like toddlers have regular bedtimes and so young kids. All a toddler and a young child is a young adult. Why would it be totally different with their human biology and your human biology? Now, I know that you probably can get away with limited amount of sleep and still doing your job. But were you put on this earth just to fucking, be a 5 out of 10 and feel average? Or were you put on this earth to be a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, have good energy, good ambition, and good drive? So let's not go and rest on, well, yeah, I can operate on 3 hours sleep. Good for you. If you're overweight, trying to trim the body fat, and you're struggling with it, and you're not sleeping right, that is where I'm going to start in 100% of all of our clients. We've done this more than 1,000 times. So it ain't what I think, it's what I know works. Regular bedtime. Now, obviously the earlier the better. I go to bed at 8:30. I just do, because I like to get up at 5:30. So if I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. and I get up at 5:30, that's, how many hours is that? That's 9 hours of sleep. That's a shit ton. I like to sleep for 9 hours if I can, 8 to 9 hours every single day. 7 days a week, every fucking day of the year. That's how I do it. But I'll get up at 5:30 and I start work at 6. So I start banging on the laptop at 6 a.m. So I'm going to put in a big day. I'm going to work from 6 a.m. all the way through to about 7 p.m. at night time. So I'm doing 13-hour days. I need a lot of energy, so I need to have good sleep. That's how I do it. Now, that probably doesn't work for some families. I get that. So your situation, if we can get to bed before 10 p.m., we are fucking laughing. So if you need, let's say, at minimum 7.5 hours, that's decent. If you go to bed at 10 p.m., that means if you get up at, 10 p.m. that's 5:30 is 7.5 hours. If you go to bed at 10 p.m. and you get up at 5:30, that is 7.5 hours sleep. Amazing. If you go to bed at 11 and you get up at 6:30, that is 7.5 hours sleep. Now, what's going to happen is the closer you go to bed, the closer to midnight you start to go to bed, the more you fuck up your sleep. So there's this kind of old wives' tale, but it actually is it's pretty bang on. If you go to bed past 11 p.m., you need to add in, it's like having an hour less sleep. So if I went to bed at midnight and I got up at 8 a.m., that's like having 6 hours of sleep, because your body's we're just not meant to be awake that late. If you're a night shift worker, look, it's more of a case-by-case basis, what you do for work, all that kind of shit. But this is just for the 80-90% of people that aren't night shift workers right now. So there's that. Mind you, I've got tons of shift workers in the mines, FIFO, doctors, nurses, support workers, you name it, we've got it. So, getting to bedtime. Because if you go to bed at a similar time each night, you start to create a circadian rhythm. A rhythm isn't staggered and all over the place. A rhythm has consistency to it. like no different to a rhythm of music, of beat. It's not fucking all over the place. It doesn't work like that. It's going to be a rhythm. It has consistency to it. So your body can't get into a nice circadian rhythm unless you have consistency to your bedtime. So if you're going to bed at 7 p.m. one night, and then it's a weekend, it's 11 p.m., and then Sunday it's 8 p.m., you'll find it very hard to get good sleep. You'll find it hard to get to sleep at the same time each night. So normally, it might take you 10 minutes to fall asleep. If you're going to bed at different times, it might take you an hour to fall asleep, half an hour to fall asleep, 2 hours to fall asleep, generally because of fucking disjointed bedtimes. So if you don't sleep good, you're not going to have good energy the next day. Boom, there goes 80% of people's problems, just getting the bedtime. Number 2, energy comes from food. So skipping meals, fasting, these kind of things. If all of the energy, so calories is energy, calories equals energy. If you are intentionally fasting or skipping meals, you are intentionally skipping out on energy. Now that's the most basic fucking one. Because when you're low on energy, what do? You either have caffeine drink or you have food. Most people have sweets. Because the cravings are, what are they? Ding, 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 fucking energy. All sweets is calories, is energy. So by the time you're getting the cravings, again, 80% of cravings come from what? Being tired. So if you're having cravings, that means you're in an energy deficiency. So if you're skipping meals at the start of the day or fasting and you're craving like an asshole on the end of the day, you are low on energy throughout the start of the day because you didn't eat enough food. Come on, simple stuff, simple stuff. But that's why you got me, to simplify it for you, make it nice and easy. I'm probably just like, you're like, oh yeah, shit, now I can see the dots and connect them up for what's happening in your life. Good. Number 3, last one, is exercise. Now I don't mean go and do a fucking burpees and high intensity workouts and F45 and go kill yourself. I mean exercise could be anything as getting up from your desk, cutting a lap around the office, cutting a lap around the building, cutting a lap around the block, whatever amount of time that you got. Look, most bosses and managers won't be opposed to you being more productive. So if you're tired, run down, unproductive, low energy in the afternoon, cutting a lap is really good. Look, I'm going to be honest, there's only really 2 ways to not feel tired. That's to have a nap and to exercise. Everything else is just a band-aid. Having caffeine products, stuff like that, it's just going to mask the tiredness, because caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. Caffeine, what it does is masks a hormone called adenosine. Adenosine is the hormone that we kind of produce the sleepy feeling. So when you're starting to feel really sleepy and you're feeling really tired, getting ready for bed, that's adenosine pouring into the body. Adenosine produces overnight, and in the morning it turns off, so we can start to wake up. So when you're feeling really tired, you're producing adenosine. So what happens is caffeine is an adenosine receptor inhibitor, meaning it blocks that tired feeling. It's still there, but it kind of blocks it out. And then the caffeine wears off and you feel tired again. So most people are their body's just fucked and they're tired all the time. They're not sleeping well. Hormones are all over the place, producing tons of adenosine, drinking lots of caffeine, energy drinks, coffee, you name it, to try and stay awake without actually fixing the core problem. Now, because you're putting so much caffeine into the body, you're producing a lot of, using the adrenal glands, producing a lot of adrenaline. And this is where like chronic fatigue and a lot of burnout tends to happen, because people don't actually fix their fucking sleep and they just keep pumping the body with things that actually don't solve the problem. This is why I give you the information so you can make the best decisions for you in the situation that you're currently in. I'd much rather our ladies sleep good, because when they sleep good, metabolism is great. They've got proper energy, not fucking fake energy from masking their adenosine by having caffeine, and they're actually operating like a normal human being. They feel happy. They're not fucking snappy and snapping the heads off the kids and the partner. They're actually cool, calm, and collected because they got their body fucking working properly. So if you're struggling with that and you're having a lot of battles, this is what we do in the program. We have a coach that works with you one-on-one. Someone there who is actually well-versed in solving problems for women over the age of 40. That's all my coaches do. They're skilled and qualified in just that. They don't help men. They don't help younger kids. The kids aren't going through perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, but our clients are. So you have your own coach working with you one-on-one who solves the challenges that you're going through for hundreds of other clients. Like right now, we have more than 300 women doing the program. That's women like one-on-one working with coaches. It's not a big group program. It's different per person. So if you want to get in, apply for the VIP transformation program. There's only 2 ways you can do it. Hit me up on social, send me a message, say, hey, Josh, I want in. How do I find out more information? Or number 2, fill out an application form. You can find them on my socials. You can find the application form on the website, blissbodyu.com.au. Scroll down till you find it, click the button, fill it out, submit it, answer all the questions, and then we go from there. If you give me one-word answers, I'm going to delete your application. Waste of my time, waste of your time. Because I ain't putting someone in the program who isn't serious about it. Because we've only got, we can only really hold 400 odd clients between my coaches without hiring and training more staff. So that means we have limited spots. My coaches aren't going to be working 80 hours a week. They're going to work their normal, whatever they work, 38, 40 hours a week. That means we got limited spots. First in, first served. If you've been listening to the podcast for weeks and months and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should, this is the sign to fucking take some action. Remember, the same decision-making process to put something off for 2 hours is the same one you use to put it off for 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months. So if you just go, oh, I'll do it later, you ain't going to do it later. You're going to do it in a couple of weeks or a couple of months' time. Spots are going to be filled, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I wish I fucking took action when I listened to this podcast. All right, ladies, lots of love. Keep kicking goals, and I will see you in the next one.